therefore, like as you know, this is a data warehousing platform, right? And this is having a more solution basis product where we have. Okay, in this data warehousing we have two streams, ETL and then reporting. Okay, do you have any idea on database by chance?
Not really. I have worked on databases with a little bit of SQL queries, but not much. Yeah, not really.
Yeah, that's fine. At least you know some queries at least, right? Yeah. So this part, like data warehousing is a database actually. So which is a database which stores the current data plus historical data. So normally when you go for any of the transactional databases, right? So it would be having only the current data. Okay. It would have only current data. But whenever you see data warehousing databases, they will be having the historical data as well, along with the current data. So that's what like why we require this warehouse. Okay, what is the purpose of this data warehouse to be maintained, and why these ETL tools and reporting tools are required for the client, okay, for the business people. Okay, so in front of like business, whatever business is running in across multiple locations of my cities in US or UK. Okay, I want to know the brief about my products, how they are selling in different cities, suppose say. Okay, I just want to know the brief count of the customers or count of the number, how many number it been sold on this particular day or per week or per monthly basis, right? So it could be of my choice, like how my functionality, my products are selling it, right? So that way, like I would be like to know the data in the form of reports. Okay, so it should be something like at any point of time by seeing the reports, I should be analyze. I should be able to analyze the data, my business according to the data which is shown on the reports. Okay, so that I can make some decisions on the products which sold or not. Okay, and what is my future plans on this business, and what are the benefits I'm getting. Okay, everything I will be calculated using the reports.
Right.
Okay, so this way, like my warehouse will be helpful for me in all the way, where it will be reports would be like my optional way, where I would be like to see it actually. So in that way, I need the data to be available. Okay, so it should be something like I need the past data which is 3 years back. So the data warehouse should able to show that data to you for 3 years back how my data is looks like, right? So that kind of nature of data maintenance will be happen in the warehouse. So right. So while you are loading into data warehouse and when you are fetching the data from this data warehouse to reports, okay, the business people is expecting the data in different formats, right? In different ways as a summarized data. So in case of summarize, it is something like a grouping and then showing the records a single value instead of all the records, right? So detailed level of information is with respect to transactional database, whereas it is summarized report where it is I'm interested to see it, that is the warehouse. Okay, so here to convert the data coming from different formats of data, suppose say my data which is coming from the systems, okay, I maintain in different formats. Suppose say some of the systems are maintained with flat files, some of them are with DB2, some are with database, XML, Excel sheets, anything it could be. All the way it is converted into a data warehouse, finally through ETL team. Okay, so when you see, okay, so when you see there is a ETL team which will be responsible to load my data warehouse. And when I say it's a data warehouse, it's a database simply, it's an Oracle or Teradata database. And the reporting team will be available after my warehouse. Okay, at end, the end user will be available. Okay, so ETL stands for extraction, transformation, and loading. So this under this ETL, we have now n number of tools. Like for example, we have Informatica, DataStage, Abinitio, Oracle Warehouse Builder. So among all the ETL tools, this Abinitio will play the major role of performance. with respect to other tools. Okay, so this is the topmost ETL tool where you can see, and there will be like which is a rare skill technologies, which is mostly used. Okay, so under this we have different clients for this technology, like we have banking systems, telephone systems, right? Like product based like healthcare systems and insurance companies. Okay, so some are financial sectors among these, like banking and insurance, and some are like non-financial. Okay, so whatever things you are achieving through any of the ETL team, it is same. Okay, even though in Informatica or DataShare or Abinitio, it is the same output, but the thing is like performance will play the major role in the Abinitio. Okay, and the features which we have in this Abinitio will not be comparable with the other tools. Ashwini, any queries? No?
No, so far so good.
Okay, fine. So here itself, extraction process is something fetching the data from the different source systems, and then I will convert that data into some flat file format. Okay, so through extraction, so that is output file is some flat file format. That output file will be maintained with the naming convention, some clean file. Okay, which will be having the pattern of star underscore cln.dat. So flat files are simply like a notepad files, which is having the data for each and every field of the file separated by some delimiter. Okay, so here I convert everything, any kind of data I fetch it from the source system, I convert it into a flat file format in the extraction level, and next going to the transformation level, this flat file would be utilized as an input. Okay, so this is my input in the next layer, right? So that means whenever you see any graph, you would understand more better. Okay, so this is the GD, which is Abinitio, we go. Okay, Abinitio front-end tool, where we will be utilizing to create a graphs. Okay, so these are the some different components we will be having, and you will fetch this components into my canvas. This is the workspace where you could see the gray color, and you will be developing some graphs. Okay, so what is a graph you could see here? Okay, so this is a graph actually completely. So this is your input, that is my source, and this is my outputs. These are my outputs, which are nothing but targets. And in between, whatever you are seeing, all these are including input and output, and along these boxes, wherever you see, these are called as components. Okay, so components are something you want to do some task in the perform some task on the data. So doing some sorting operation, filtering operation, some writing business rules or business requirements, right? Everything can be achieved by each and every component with respect to their functionalities. Okay, so this completely the picture of collection of components is called a graph. Okay, so a graph will be having a source, a target, and we have a program components in between. Okay, so this is something like you are doing by the extraction process. That means you'll use some components to do some extraction. Extraction will include validations of the data files, validation of the data with null values or not, okay, with the defined values or not, and I will check some something which is the business technical validations, which are provided by the business people. So once you've done some technical validation, the data which is coming from the source system, it would be a cleaned data as an output file. That is nothing but a flat file. Okay. That means you have cleaned the file before you pass it to the next level of the ETL, right? So the clean file is nothing but this is a flat file, and this will be used as an input format transformation. Okay, so here transformation, in the other words, it is called as a business rules application layer. Okay, what it is called? It is called as business rules application layer. So here we would be applying the business rules provided by the business people, okay, in between, and prepare a output file which is also a flat file, but this file is called as load ready file. Okay, so the naming pattern of the files will be with extension .dat files. Okay, before .dat I will be having the extension with *_lr.dat. Okay, so these files will be stored as a load ready files, and these files will be used as an input for my next layer, that is my loading. So for loading process, these flat files will be used as an input, and then it will help you to load the data warehouse. Okay, so the way you are storing the data in the database tables, in normal transactional tables, it would be the same process, but here we are applying this ETL process to prepare the warehouse. Okay, so once your data warehouse is ready, then the reporting services will be enabled. Okay, where you can fetch the data from the data warehouse and can show some reports to the end user. Any queries here? Hello?
Hi. So where does the Abinitio part actually come in? It comes in before the extraction, or while applying the business rules, or throughout the process?
Yeah, throughout the process you could say. See, whatever warehouse is available, right? Before this, whatever you're doing, this is done by Abinitio only. That's what I'm showing here, right? So you are doing ETL team is nothing but our Abinitio team, which will be involved to fetch the data from different sources and to prepare the warehouse.
Okay.
So whatever your processing, extraction process, transformation process, and loading, it will be done by us.
Okay. So the graph which you showed us right now, is that the graph which we have to design, or?
Yeah, we have to design it. We have to design it.
Okay.
Okay. So we'll come to the basics whenever we started with this. Okay. So what is like, we will be going through the basics of the Abinitio, first of all, architecture level. Okay. And then we will go with the components, how it is useful for each and every component, when what all scenarios we have to use it. Okay. And then we will go to the advanced topics, and then we'll provide you some sample interview questions sometimes.
Okay, so you'll be helping us design the graphs, right? You'll be letting us know how to design the graphs, right?
Yes, yes, I will show you practically everything. Each and every component I will explain theoretically, and I will explain some practically. I will show you here, okay, through screens, so that you can see it how I am designing it. So you can do practical by your own actually.
So do we have any programming in this, or do we have any coding part, or do we need to know SQL in depth for this, or it's okay not to actually know much about programming?
There is no prerequisites for this course, okay. And when you come to this SQL part, you are asking, right? So that is something like once you load it into data warehouse, that is my target database, final database, you should be able to write some queries, at least self queries, to check how my data is available. Okay, that's kind of like simple self queries, not even like complex I required. Only simple self queries getting the data from the table. That's it. And apart from that, you may need joins. That's I'll be covering anyhow in the session, join session.
Okay.
Okay. So that's also not required. Okay. And one more thing, like no coding will be there. It's a graphical user interface. Okay, mainly it will be concentrating on the graphical level. Okay, graphical designing. But if some components will be there, very few components. Okay, 5 to 6 components, where you will be doing some part of coding. Okay, that too it will be simply generated templates will be there where you have to write between the mapping rules, how to map the source to target. Okay, it's a simple. Yeah.
You'll be covering that as well.
Yeah, we'll cover all those as a part of this session. Okay, so what? And no, nothing like that will not be a huge level of coding you could see here. Okay, main thing is a graphical level of interfaces, so it will be easy to work on these tools.
Okay.
Okay, so advantage is as we don't require, we are not depending on any other technologies to learn this and to work on this, right? So it's advantages for any newcomers actually to this Abinitio. Okay.
Okay, that's good.
Okay, we'll go to this some architecture how it works. Okay. So as a coming to the architecture, like we have this GD, GD is which I shown here, right? This is the GD window. This is the GD window where you could see here, right? So this is the GD where you used to develop the graphs. Okay. So this GD is to develop a graph and to run the graph and check the status of the graph, how it is. What is the status of my graph? Okay. So this is called as a client component, and my architecture is a two-tier architecture. Okay. So whenever it's a two-tier architecture, one is a client and the other one is a server. Okay. So client is something, it will be, this GD will be installed in the Windows machine and it is available to us. Okay. And this GD is with respect to license, per license per head. So whenever you have a team of 5 members, for 5 team members, you should have 5 licenses to access this GD. Okay, under one name, there will be only one license. It's not like a group licenses won't be available here. Okay, and coming to this server, where is server is nothing but here you have the operating system as a second component, which is called a server. Okay, so this operating system will be installed in the Unix machine or it could be installed in the Windows machine as well. But here in the real-time systems, it would be installed in the Unix machine. Okay, so while you start working on these projects of the Abinitio, you should be aware of at least the basic commands of Unix. Okay, as you know, we are working on the Windows machines in our daily life or in everywhere, right? So you won't be required anything specific knowledge on this Windows machine operating system to access it. But while going to the Unix machines, those are something like directories where it will be having, and these directories you have to navigate from one directory to other directory, and to fetch some files and to list out the files. Okay, to remove the files. So some basic commands are required for this Unix. Okay, so in Unix or Windows, my operating system is installed. Okay, so my operating system is lying in the Unix. My GD is lying on the Windows machine. Okay, so as this operating system is installed in the Unix, it is nothing but it's a collection of multiple processors. It is a collection of multiple processors. So you could see these are the processors which are connected to the operating system. So this scope and database both are installed in this Unix machine, and this is a database client where it is our database client for the data warehouse, right? So here the operating system is having it will be having the multiple processors or multiple CPUs. Okay, so as these two components are designed like this, so whenever you prepare a graph in the GD, and when you click on the run button, it will deploy Unix shell script, that is a .ksh file. So this .ksh file will be generated. That means whatever code you are writing in the Abinitio, this is a graph. graphical user interface, and each and every component will have some functionality. It is built up of some functionality based on, it is developed based on the C language. So each and every component will have some specific meaning actually, right? So that is converted here, the components, whatever you covered in this GD in a graph level, that's been converted to a shell script completely, a graph level. That .ksh file will be sent to the cooperating system server. And this cooperating system server is, it will take the request from the GD, and this will be given to the host processing nodes. Okay, so these processing nodes will perform the operation of running the components and then return the status back to the GD. Not through directly, it will return the status to the cooperating system server, and this cooperating system server will send the status to the GD. Okay, so this way, like my running process, by running of the graph will be taken care by cooperating system server. Okay, so cooperating system server is also a software from the Abinitio where it will run the jobs mainly. The graphs will be ran through coop server only. Okay, so when you say these two are having interaction and communication between graph designing and then running it and showing the status back in GD. Okay, so the connectivity details of the Unix machine are provided in the GD as a part of settings. Okay, so you'll be provided with this Unix access, and this coop server is common to all the team on multiple applications. Okay, so what are the user ID and password you have for each and every developer? It will differ from developer to developer. Okay, so those credentials you will be providing in the GDA as a part of profile settings to access this host machine. Okay, so the details are provided in the GDA as a part of settings, and they'll be having communication to each other. Okay, so whenever you save any graph, it will be saved with the extension .mp. Okay, so all the graphs will be having the extension .mp, and the corresponding deployed script will be having the .ksh file. Okay, so this way we will be developing the graphs and running it. Okay, so when we come to the EME, it is a repository, and it is nothing but it's a enterprise meta environment which could store the objects with respect to history versions. We can maintain the versions. Okay, so this repository is something to save the objects as a globally. Okay, we can save the objects from the GDA or from the cooperating system server. Okay, so this way we'll be having communication between all these components, and EME is only for repository purpose. All the processing and designing will happen through coop server, and then designing will happen through GD. Okay, that's how like my components will communicate each other, and it will show the actual performance. Any queries?
So the GD is always on the Windows, and the cooperative system is on the Unix, right?
Right.
So yeah, so when do we need the Unix command really to validate our cooperating system, or?
No, Unix will store the files, right? Whatever you are developing in the GD, okay,
Right.
this .mp.ksh file, it would get and saved in this Unix machine, some directories.
Right. So to when we want to verify a data, or when we want to see if it is stored properly or not, then we use the Unix command?
Unix, basically, if you want to see some files, right, whether they are present or not.
Right,
okay.
right.
I want to go to that directory and I have to see that. In that case, only you want those commands.
Okay.
To navigate around the Unix system, that's it.
So in GD, basically we save the file in two formats. One is abc.mp, and the other one, while deploying, we save it as ksh.ksh.
That's like .ksh will be taken care by the Abinitio itself. It will be created automatically.
Okay.
You create the graph only. Corresponding
Okay.
.ksh will be generated.
Okay. And does it get loaded onto the Unix automatically, or we have to we'll have to do
No,
that?
everything is automatic actually. This .ksh file, it will be generated automatically. Okay, so it will be saved in some locations. Okay, the corresponding locations is nothing but Unix directories only.
Okay. So the EME would store the objects. That's what you said, right? So the objects are
Right.
basically the components, or what?
No, objects are nothing but graphs actually. Okay, whatever you are developing the graph, right? So these graphs and everything, graph related some objects will be there. Only
Uh-huh.
those objects will be saved in the EME. Components are something, it's basically coming with the tool itself. Okay,
Right. So
so
components are the,
components are predefined in the Abinitio.
okay. Okay. So
Okay,
basically,
whatever you're building the, yeah,
basically the objects what we mean is basically we're storing the graphs in the EME, right?
right, graphs and their dependent objects. Okay, what are the things required for the graph building?
Okay. Okay.
Okay, not the files. We won't store the input files, output files, any error files, log files. We will not store in the EME. Only the mainly the Abinitio objects. How we are building the graphs. Okay, the dependent objects. Only those will be available in the EME.
Okay.
Okay, so we will go in depth like when we started these sessions. Okay, so the way we
Mm-hmm.
will cover is in depth like you will understand more elaborately all the things. Okay, so end-to-end perspective like you have to work on with your efforts on by preparing it practically. Okay, hands-on, and then we will be provided with some soft copy of material. Okay, so which is Abinitio Corporation material, which will help you to get every detail of the component, each and every component, and every concept it will be covered. Okay,
So
so
would
whatever
we
you want
get
to. Mhm.
an access to Abinitio software as well as the Unix?
Abinitio software will be getting. Okay, it will be the one which we are telling here, right? That will be that is a supported version to Windows only. Okay, so now currently while you are working on EA itself, it will no Unix will be there, but only Windows systems. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so what are the things we will be doing from the Unix part? I'll tell you the technically actually. I will show some screenshots how it would be. Okay, so that you will understand that completely and the actual working environment.
Okay. So when we say that the Abinitio software which we are getting is only Windows based, that means we won't be actually able to see the files which we store as abc.mp generated as abc.ksh in the Unix. We won't be able to see that.
Yes, we will not be able to see that these files, whatever you are creating the graphs, right? It will be
Uh-huh.
saved in the Windows machine now.
Okay.
Normally, in that case, whenever you go with Windows, this .ksh will not be created actually automatically. Okay. Anyhow,
Right.
like I will not be directly interacting with .ksh file by any means, right? Just it will be created and it will take care while it is running the graph. Okay. I'm not directly working on the KSH file, so no need to bother about .ksh. I'm working on the MP, so you'll be able to see the MPs in the Windows machine.
So would you be covering a little part of Unix, because like I wouldn't be knowing what Unix command would we be actually using in the real time projects. So would you be
Yes,
covering
sir.
a little bit of
I'll
that?
Yeah, little bit I will cover with respect to Unix, so how to navigate and what are the things we require on Unix part.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, fine then. If everything is fine, you do have any other queries? Anything apart from this?
Um, Not really. No.
Okay, fine. Yeah, the team will call you actually. You can
Sure.
tell the timings and everything, whatever you require. Okay.
Okay. Sounds good.